Hey everybody, welcome back to another Magic the Gathering card game design session. This is the second one this month. This is part of designing for Moxtober, that series where for each prompt in Moxtober, it's like Inktober, if you're familiar with Inktober, we designed a magic card. On top of that, each of my magic cards are a double face card. In not all magic cards are double face, but some are, and each one of the cards in this month I'm designing for are double face. They're all lycanthropes. They're all different wear somethings. And today we're doing day 7 through 13. Today is the 12th Pacific time. It's about to be the 13th. By the time we get to number 13, I imagine it will already be past midnight and we'll be designing right on the day. So to catch you up to what designs we've had done in so far, in the previous session we've done days 1 through 6. So let's go and take a look at that. So the first day we went with a Cyclops that transforms into a Werestag for day 1's Autumn. Second day, the Bad Apple Farmer becomes the Voracious Weresquirrel for day 2's Orchard. And for day 3 birds, we have the Veritable Aven, who transforms into a Venomous Werebee. And for day 4's Nocturnal, we got a Runaway from the Markov family. This Vampire Monk becomes a Were-Raccoon. And then for day 5, we had for the prompt Village. Did I say the prompt for the last one? Nocturnal. Yes. So for Village, we had an elemental person, a Waterkin, who transforms into a Were-Ape. And then the last day, last time, was for the prompt Forest, as an Elf Ranger, the Rabbit Trapper, who transforms into a Were-Rabbit. Okay, so now we're at day 7. The prompt is Return. And I'll talk through why I chose. So also, if you don't know, so I've already went ahead and set up the structure of all of these. There's some rules I'm following. I've already told you I'm doing lycanthropes for each of my cards is a lycanthrope of some kind to wear something. Also, another rule I like to follow to go and keep it fresh is every creature type is never repeated on another card in this project. So as you can see here, I'm using Halfling Employee. Well, Employee is a type that was new as of Infinity that came out recently, even on some non-Acorn cards. Acorn meaning the stamp on some of those cards, non-serious cards. So it is officially a black border or non-Acorn type. But so it becomes a Were-Dog, so it has Halfling Dog on the backside. So Dog, Halfling, and Employee can't be used on any other card as an example for this project. Okay, so why did I choose these? So I went ahead and set up ahead of time each of these cards, different creature types, because it could take a bit of time to kind of think through which types could go where, because you have to make sure they don't collide with each other, and it's harder to do that on the fly. It's already hard to design an individual card on the fly and be sure that you are going to be satisfied with the product within a certain amount of minutes. I like to keep it to no more than a half hour for each card if I can. But sometimes, you might need to, I'm sure some of you magic designers or other creatives sometimes need to take a walk or take a shower or take a meal or something to really think through some problems you get stuck at. But we don't have that luxury here. But anyway, so I chose Halfling, Employee, and Dog for Return, the prompt for today. Why did I choose these? Okay, so Halfling is the type that's used in the Lord of the Rings magic set for hobbits. They didn't use the hobbit as a new creature type. They just called them halflings, which already existed in Magic thanks to Dungeons and Dragons. And so because of the hobbits are equal to halflings, that means I was thinking about our dear old friend There and Back Again. The title of the Hobbit, the tale of the Hobbit. So there, and then back again. So return. So there you go. I'm like, hey, halfling is a reference to that. Now, employee, employee means that you're employed for doing work for payment. So you are doing that over and over again, which means you have to keep coming back to work. Thus, also aligning up with, like, say, people like to talk about Mondays as being like, hey, I have to come back from the weekend to Monday. So that's why we chose employee there. And we have a Diglett in the chat for Pokemon community gamers. And lastly, why are we picking dog for the back face for the lycanthrope side, the were-dog? Because of the concept of fetch. When you play fetch with a dog, they bring it back to you, and they're the animal that is most associated with, like, hey, go fetch like a dog. Not that other animals like cats cannot do the same, but there you go. So let's design a halfling employee that becomes a were-dog. So let's see. It seems very much, let's think about colors. Employees are part of, like, a structured type of environments, but you can say that maybe they're in it to be part of society, so that would be a white thing. Or if they're really in it for maybe black aligned intentions, making that money, then you could be black for sure. It seems less likely it would be green. You can always do blue as, like, this is a part of a greater plan. Maybe this employee is going to become their own boss sometime. Red, maybe we can even express rebelling as an employee, and maybe that's what comes out as the were-dog. Hey, I kind of like that. So maybe this dog can be red on the backside. Actually, sorry, we don't cast on the backside. We actually use Moxtober. T-Top-Strav, how's it going? Thanks for popping up. Moxtober, it's a event that happens in October. You just create something magic related based on the prompt for the day. I forgot to update the stream information with some Moxtober info commands. So let me see. Let me do that. Moxtober, and then Moxtober rules, and Moxtober, I don't know. Let's see. I think I'll just do it like that. And done. There. Sadly, won't be long. Hitting the wall since it's nearly 3 a.m. Hey, thanks for even just stopping by at all. Let me just go ahead and do, I think, this for your... There you go. There's information related to Moxtober for you if you can read it there. But yeah, good to see you, T-Top-Strav. I did think about you, T-Top-Strav. And I'm not sure. So I'm going to be streaming October 13th through the 31st. During that time frame, whenever I stream, there's going to be some spooky games being played, and I'm going to make sure that if you are around when I do stream, that I bump up and turn on the Vampire Survivors. But if you're not around, I'll just pick other games. Always gotta love some spoopy games. Right, exactly. Okay, so halflings, they could be, whatever color. But if they're an employee, we can maybe choose. I mean, if we were to think about hobbits, we can maybe choose white and green. We can maybe choose the white here to maybe become a red on the backside to kind of express that they're going wild. Maybe the rigidity of employment, they go and break out of that on the backside here. Okay, so let's think about maybe what they do as an employee. So they do a thing and then they get paid. So maybe we have to pay them a treasure token, or probably not a gold token. You don't want to have that as a payment because most cards produce treasure tokens and not gold tokens. Those are two distinct things. But basically, gold came out on like first before treasure, but then treasure was created for good reasons and has become the go-to usage. But in rare cases, a gold token will be used, but usually just when creating, not when requiring as payment. So I think we're going to go ahead and make some kind of reference here, reference to treasure here, perhaps as a cost. So maybe let's see, sacrifice a treasure token, and then something happens, and then they get to work for you. Well, what kind of work do you want them to do? So maybe production is something that you would like. Now, this may be showing that we may want someone who's maybe not just like white aligned, maybe blue aligned, or maybe both, you know, which white and blue is the colors of the Azorius, which is a guild in the plane of Ravnica. Ravnica has 10 different guilds, which is 10 different color combinations. They all have their different ways of philosophies in life. As someone who's technically new to Magic, played, but it's been way too long, what is a double-faced creature? So a double-faced creature is, so on the front side, it's, you got a front side to the Magic card. So on most Magic cards, on the back of it, there's a back. It says Magic the Gathering on it. But double-faced cards have another side on the back. And the cards on the Magic card tell you when to do that, when you flip them over. And if you're wondering how you play with them in a deck, there are two solutions to using double-sided cards in a deck. Which one is to use opaque sleeves, so you can't tell when you're drawing them from your deck that they're coming up. The other one is to use a checklist card, which is created whenever and provided in booster packs whenever there are double face cards in that set of cards. So what you do is they have a normal back on the checklist card, and then when you draw it and you see that you've checked off like what card that's supposed to represent, then you can just take the actual double face card out you have from the side in your deck box, and you just put it into play. It's a literal thing. Yeah, it's literally double faced. Yep. This is the front on the left, and and on the back is the on the right. Okay, so let's see. Maybe we're doing sacrifice a treasure token. I'm thinking because they get tired, employees get tired, we want to make sure that they tap. Now let's see. I think it has to be, the order is tap symbol and then sacrifice a treasure token, and then we're going to get some kind of production out of it. I think it would be good. Let's see. Now, no treasure is being created, but what we could do is on the back side we can have treasure be created, because maybe this were-dog goes and steal, like creates their own treasure and like does something, right? I didn't know night and day were a playstyle. Yeah, it's part of a mechanic. Not all double-faced cards rely on night and day, but there is a reminder card that tells you what happens, how do you turn day to night and night to day. But this is basically all. This is just being shorthand here of what is. It just says night and this says day on there, and then there's a reminder card that says, oh, okay, when someone casts 2 spells during their turn, you go. If it's night, then it becomes day next turn. And then the day side, when it's day, if any player doesn't cast any spells on their turn, then it becomes night. That's how that works. So if I want to turn this halfling into a were-dog, and on my turn I would choose to not cast any spells, I pass the turn if it's daytime, and then as it becomes the next player's turn, it becomes night, and then we transform it to the were-dog, along with everyone else that is also day-bound. Okay, so let's see. Maybe over here we can create a treasure token of some kind, of somehow. Okay, so productive things might be like drawing a card or scry, or let's see, other things that match white and blue. Blue's main thing is, you can gain control of creatures permanently, but that doesn't feel like a halfling employee sort of thing to do. There is the white side. You can create like creature tokens as sort of a way to get bonuses, but that doesn't feel as right here. You could create food. White can gain life, but maybe, you know what? Maybe let's see. No, because they get food for themselves. They take the treasure token, and create food for themselves. Unless, okay, so the half employee does, the employee does earn you money. So that's a thing too. So if we earn money, we have to keep paying them each day. Maybe that's the thing. We have to keep paying them each day. But if they become the were-dog, maybe we don't pay them. Let's see. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice a treasure token. If you do, let's see. I used to have a green-black defender deck. Lots of defenders that could also block flying creatures with death touch and lifesteal. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's a good strategy to have being able to block flyers with death touch, like spiders, deadly spiders. Distinct, how's it going? Hola, hola, hola. So I would wipe out lots of attackers while gaining or remaining even on life and add huge monsters to summon. Distinct, found a Dragon Ball. All right, let's go ahead and update your Dragon Ball count. Let's go open up stream elements right now. Going on over. Wah! All right, let's see here. And we got a lift going on. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and do that after we update your Dragon Balls. And we got the gloomy sniffs. I hear you. Not currently looking at that. I got the Dragon Balls. Update. Distinct. Distinct, you're now at 8 Dragon Balls. So you are well on your way to, at any time when you would like, you can wish for, you can decide the wishing process to start to summon Shenron. Okay, I'm catching up now. We got 817 Gloom Sniff, and we got some nice quarters, some bunny pets, and a miss on the Shuckle. All right, let's do some lifts. Let me go and get this off here. Okay. Me lifting these 10 times. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Thanks for the workout, Distinct. Let's see. Let's catch up here. Bradley, I have an idea. For the Gloom Sniff, you want 1,000. You want to hate the Gloom Sniff as much as possible. That's a good idea, T-Top Strav. There's got to be somebody who just cannot, who maybe just dies upon Gloom Sniff. Sniff. Okay, so back to our halfling employee. Beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice a treasure token. Now, we want this employee to be creating revenue for us. So I'm basically thinking that it somehow creates 2 treasure tokens for us, but then we have to keep paying them each turn 1 treasure token. So how about like this? Whenever card name deals combat damage, although I think this would go down here. Yeah, because usually when you order cards, abilities, you put the phases of the turn could be one way that you're listing them out. Keywords tend to go up top, and then even keywords have their own different orders depending on when they would apply. But in this case, the beginning of the turn ability would go at the top of the box, whereas the one that occurs with combat I'm about to write here, let's see, deals combat damage to a player. Rinks, hello. Welcome back. How is it going? Does combat damage to a player. Now we could draw a card, or you could create treasure tokens or something of the sort. Let's see. It feels weird to investigate, because why is an employee investigating? So I don't know if we need to create our own different types of tokens. I mean, we could create 2 treasure tokens. If we are doing that, I think we're creating a different kind of color. I think we could be fine with that. Let's see. Create 2 treasure tokens. In the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice a treasure token. If you don't, tap card name. There you go. They don't come into work. All right, that seems good. So now creating treasure tokens repeatedly, that might be, let's see, treasure tokens fall into like red and green, like that type of production. So we might be changing the colors here. But let's see, the drawback of, I think we might do black for that drawback, although we could just do complete red for the halfling employee here. There, in that case, we might change the were-dog to be white on the back. We could keep it red, that's fine to do. Just finished your Inktober for today, all right. Congratulations, we're having some, what do you call it, co-working here. Making sure that we're accountable for our Tobers. Bradley, I have an idea for a card. Lycanthrope Werewolf, that when it did damage, the card that took damage, turns into a the werewolf bite idea. I thought it's based off the story that when werewolves claw or bite, yeah, exactly, you turn into a werewolf. So I think that's a very cool thing to do. Very cool thing to do. Did you maybe think of that because dogs like to bite as well? Although I think the story that we're telling here is in a little different direction here. But I am open for doing this collaborative thinking and design here as we're going through each of the cards. Okay, so I'm already at, let's see, 26, but it took about 4 minutes to, so about 20. Yeah, I better wrap this up. Let's see here. I think we don't have to pay the employee when they become a were-dog, so we could take that off. But I think mirroring the whenever card name deals combat damage to a player, we'll have something maybe juicier happen here. Because I don't know about like creating. We could create food, but then it's like treasure and food, but what's going to happen? What happens when the were-dog bites the player? So I'm not trying to distract you from your idea. No, it's all good, T-Top Strap. But I'm just speaking aloud these ideas they're passing through and commenting on them. I want to say I'll make the illustration for you, but no, yeah, please do. I don't have much stake in this project, Riggs. It's very kind of you. Yeah, I've done multiple Magic projects. This one is just, I would say, rank on a lower prideful amount than others. If I ever wanted art for something, it would be this one. Well, thank you so much. It's very kind. All right, let's see. So you don't have to pay the employee when they become the were-dog. What is that set symbol? So there's a website called game-icons.net. I think that's the URL. Game Icons. They have a bunch of just free-to-use icons for whatever projects that you have for your game projects. There's all sorts of symbols, and that one's a good one to go to grab some kind of symbol to use as a set symbol. T-Top Strava is talking about these little leaves here on the middle of the card. I think you could see my cursor. Let me see. Let me look at OBS. Can you see my cursor? Yeah, you can. Okay, right here. I could change this to, I will change it to uncommon or rare or whatever based on the complexity of the card, but we're just about getting there. It's probably going to be, it's going to be at least uncommon. This can't be a common here with this design. All right, so normally if it's like, you might find, like if it's just the front face, you might, and this could be a sucky experience if you don't manage to get the treasure token. Oh, actually here, this actually, you know what? I kind of don't like how it says beginning of your upkeep and you don't have a chance without haste. I think maybe, and it's kind of weird to maybe have to wait to put haste out. So maybe, how about this? At the beginning of the end step, I'm going to change that. So what I'm going to do here So I'm gonna change this here. Upkeep, I picked upkeep because I needed a part of the turn, and usually upkeep is a good place, especially with the theme of paying an employee. Upkeep is the place for a bunch of like repeated triggers, but you can use other parts of the turn. At the beginning of your end step, I think this is a better place because what we're going to do is we're going to do a little clause here. At the beginning of your end step, if card name didn't enter the battlefield under your control this turn, sacrifice a treasure token. If you don't, tap card name. There you go. All right. And because it's kind of getting smaller text, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, we could go and look into removing the reminder text. Although that doesn't remove too much, save too much room, but we'll see. If we put the reminder text back in, yeah, that's okay. There are cards that this is definitely at least uncommon here. Nice touch. Rare gave it the silver circle. Yeah, it did. So that's the thing that Magic the Gathering does, which is for the rare and above cards, they add this security stamp, the hollow foil stamp. And so we simulate that in this set editor whenever you choose rare or mythic rare here. Okay. I'm thinking, okay, so this is a halfling. I think we want to make it really cheap to cast because I don't want the halfling to get too big. And the halfling has a bit of a drawback. So we want this to be above rate for what it does, but also not too much because you're actually getting upside when you go and deal damage with it. I'm thinking 2/2, although that might be too beefy. A 2/1. Yeah, maybe we could do the 2/1 there. And then when it gets bigger, we'll at least do at least the +1/+1 when it becomes the were-dog. Okay, so the way this is worded, we have a chance. If we play this turn 1, and then they get to go. If we went first, they only have their turn 1 to play down something, and they play nothing. We're excited. And it's our turn 2. We swing in with the halfling employee, and we deal the damage. You create 2 treasure tokens, and we don't have to tap this. Let's see. Although tapping was the restriction because of the upkeep, which prevented attacking with it. So we need a different kind. I think we need a different kind of restrict because we could have already be tapped because we're already attacking. Let's see. This is a little tough. This is a little tougher, actually. Let's see. The tapping. What else can you do as a punishment? I mean, you could phase it out, but it feels kind of weird to phase it out. It's getting more complex that way. Bradley, talking about your food ideas for the dog. Can the food be mana? Like if it has hunger, tap 2 mana? It could be. That could be. If you want, you can express hunger by requiring sacrificing of any kind of resources. Doesn't have to be the food token, which I want to stay away from as much as possible, I would think. Let's see. You could say that maybe the were-dog doesn't do anything on the backside. It just becomes super big. But that's kind of less fun of like, okay, it's kind of a letdown of what kind of story that we're kind of tell here. I'm backing myself in a little corner here with this restriction. I don't feel like the employee hurting us doesn't feel reflective of what would happen. It feels like the upkeep thing was better to do, but I think we'll put that back. Actually, let's do it. Let's put it back, and we'll think of how we can solve for that without it getting too convoluted. Because I could template it, but in a way that's kind of yucky for like remembering and such. All right, at the beginning of your upkeep, Although we do, let's see. Oh boy, my fingers are off on the keyboard. Okay, there you go. Beginning of upkeep, if card name didn't enter the battlefield under your control during your last turn. That's so complicated. And you have to remember that. I think maybe you can, but that's okay. We have to move on. During your last turn, sacrifice a treasure token if you don't tap it. Okay. All right, that's what we're going to stick with. So creating treasure tokens is what's going to happen on the front. And then on the back, we could change this to green. This feels a little better, especially if we're going to make it, let's see. I think we could keep this green. Some dogs are green in Magic, I think. Let's do a quick check. I'm going to check Scryfall. Type dog. Color. Oh, well. Looks like the Doctor Who set has an alien dog at green. Yeah, we got a Tanuki at green. Yeah, we got some dogs at green. We're fine. All right, cool. Hey, okay, so I always say Cow-kun, or Kao-kun. How do I pronounce it? But it is, I definitely know who you are. You're a long-time person that I know from the Magic community, usually from Twitter. So cool to have you here. Let's see. Oh, don't worry about automod. I have aggressive automodding, and I'm about to allow this message from you. It looks like mongrel was the word that was blocked there, but permitted the mentioning mongrel. Famous green dog. Oh, wild mongrel, of course. I remember wild mongrel. It was used in competitive Magic back in the day, along with Psychotog. I don't know if is that the same deck. I think so, because you would discard from Psychotog, and then you would remove from your graveyard with the wild mongrel, right? All right, let's see. Bradley, what if the dog, if it hasn't attacked in X amount of turns, gets bloodlust or hunger? That's also makes sense to do because it gets hungry over time. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Although because the front already has a memory thing on it, at least it's a one-time memory thing, then I don't want the backside to have another thing to track. I want it to be super simple. So I think we're just going to settle for maybe creating those food tokens. And I know it's maybe kind of messy we've seen Modern Horizons 2. The set played with food tokens, clue tokens, and treasure tokens. Let's imagine that this is slotted into a Modern Horizons 2 type of environment. So we can go ahead and mirror and do create 2 food tokens here. Okay, so wow, this just gets lots of stuff each turn. Maybe you just create a food token. Maybe it's okay that it doesn't mirror that, because 2 is a lot per turn. And then what we could do is we can maybe use that treasure benefit to help pay for the food as an interplay between the two. There we go. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. All right, let's take a look. So I don't like the 2-1 there. I'm thinking this would be good. It's a 2-1, but then with some pretty cool upside. So if we do the 2-1, pay 2 for 2-1 like that. Sure, this seems fine. So we're going to have to name our cards, and then we'll move on to the next one. Famous, let's see. Yeah, it's like cow. Oh, nice. Yeah, Cow-kun. Makes sense. Sorry. Hey, no, please. No apologies needed. Okay, so I now have to name it. I'm taking name suggestions for this. This is an employee that we pay them a treasure each turn, except for the first turn, each upkeep, except for the first upkeep after it enters the battlefield under our control. But it can earn us treasure if it hits the player. So what can that be? Let's see. It could be a productive, whatever other name for employee, and then we can do the opposite of that, which is you know, the mad were dog. So if it's like mad were dog, it could be like mad productive. Mad productive, or, you know, something like that. Hardworking, it could be like hardworking. Let's see. Hardworking assistant, hardworking. What do you call those? Oh, individual contributors is the name of that, right? So you can have like some kind of a little nod to that with like, oh, we're running out of space here, right? So you can say, say like high performing. Oh, there you go, high performing. We're gonna let's see, high performing something. We could just say employee. We probably should. Maybe productive employee. That's kind of boring though. Productive. We could say underling, but that's sinister. Sinister of us. Oh, direct report. That's another thing. Productive direct report. Productive report. Let's see. Thank you. The Office theme is fun. Yeah. These are actual creature types of Magic that have come from any sort of set so far. Employee was a new one from a space theme park set, so I'm using that one here. So now, if we have a productive direct report, we can also have a direct report, but a dire where dot a dire. Ooh, I like that. Dire report. Let's see. I'm gonna do direct report. How about that? I'm gonna do direct report, and then it goes dire were dog. There you go. Okay, let's move on. We've spent a lot of time on this one already. It's not perfect. I'm sure, you know, more iterations can make this even more fantastic. Chef kiss. Okay, moving on. Here we go. So the prompt for this day for Moxtober is school. So the school prompt made me think of these things. Okay, so Strixhaven is a magic school plane, and in it, it has these tokens that are created called Inklings. That was unique to that plane, and they're usually 2/1 flyers. Now we haven't seen a card version of an Inkling, so I thought that was kind of a novel thing to pursue. And an impetus actually with Strixhaven being the same plane for this example, an impetus for making a card version of this new type that came with Strixhaven is that in Strixhaven there's a Blex. Blex is a legendary pest. Pest is a creature type that usually pest is used on tokens, and Blex was like, hey, it's a card version of a pest. So we're going to go and follow Blex's footsteps with an Inkling card here. And so, but I do want to make sure, so Inklings can fly as a thing, and they're 2/1s. We could keep it as a 2/1. Now, Blex is a big pest, so we can make sure that this Inkling gamer, yes, gamer, so we'll get to that in a second, could be a bigger a splotch of Inkling or whatever, but we'll start with 2/1 for now to try to drive home like this is one of those Inklings. Okay, so why did I choose gamer? I just thought of like different uses of school, and you can school someone in a game, I guess, when you're playing competitively against them. It does feel that verbiage is sort of all like very, yeah, I'm going to school you, you know, you get owned, whatever. But yeah, so I picked gamer for that. Gamer is a real type that also came out with the Unfinity. We're talking about that weren't appearing on silver border cards and acorn cards. It is on some cards that are black border. Those who play Magic know what I'm talking about. As in, some tournament permissible cards do have the type gamer, so we're going to be able to use that here. I like to go and make sure to design cards that could be cards that that do follow the rules and such that could appear in tournament play. Although you can have some whimsy with the project, like we're doing with this Inkling gamer. That's what is this? Okay, so it becomes the Were Eel. Eels have the fish type in Magic, and I thought fish school. The school prompt means school of fish, so there we go. And I think it's kind of a beautiful thought of like this little inkling going around, but then when it becomes this giant like dark inkling-ish eel thing. There you go. That's the idea here. Love it. Thanks, Kalkin. Okay, so what do gamers do? What do gamers do? I'm open for suggestions on what this is. I'm just thinking out loud here. Let's see. Gamers like to win. They might play games. Playing games might involve flipping coins and rolling dice. Those are game things. And depending on what abilities we go with, we will choose the colors for it and choose some abilities. Where eels. So eel is, I'm probably pretty much going to be making this a blue here. And I do always like to see, sometimes I might want to have an opposite color on the front to drive home that this is now freaking out. But it doesn't have to be. This could be a blue peep or a white peep or a red peep. Now, red does play with dice and flipping coins often there. We could also do, there has been like guessing type of templating stuff. We've seen that recently with the Doctor Who products and the white and blue aligned, what is it, the 7th Doctor does the guess? RGB. Red, green, blue, as in like the colors. Unless you're talking about, Ruth. No, that's RBG. The person that passed. RGB, those colors. So you could just do like that, a red, green. But it depends. Now, inklings have been black or white. Actually, wait, when you create them, they're black and white, right? Let me see. Let me do another card search engine search for inklings. Let me take a look here. They tell you what color they are when you create those tokens. They say a white and black inkling creature token. Okay, there we go. I think we want to try to stick with that for this. We don't want a departure from this. We want to feel like an inkling. So let's make this a white-black card. Now we probably have a direction here because flipping coins and rolling dice tends to be a blue or red thing unless the set has it as a major theme. And I'm going to want to get away from this and go more towards maybe like a guessing game type of thing. That could be a fun thing to do. So we're gonna come up with a guessing game. We're gonna go ahead and look for cards that have the word guess in them and see what kind of templating we've had. The 7th Doctor being one example of that. Let's see. Secretly choose a number or choose a card in your hand. So there's different ways to do. Let's write them down. Okay, so for the guessing game, we can do choose a card in your hand. So that's already automatically secret because your hand is not visible. We can also do choose a card. Well, if you choose a card in your graveyard, it would be secretly choose a card in your graveyard. Let me write that down there. Okay, so besides cards, we can also do secretly choose a number. And then it could be between something, 1 and 7 or something like that. Let's take a look at what else has existed in the past. Oh, yeah, no RGB this time. I like the suggestion. Now, actually, though, since white and black is here, I think, turning blue is fine. Okay, so inkling fish, though. Inkling fish. Ooh. Blue and white and black. 3 colors. I guess. Can an eel be non-blue? I mean, it's fine. I think it's fine. There's been non-blue fish. Let's do another search here. I'm going to search for all non-blue fish. Oh, there's 5 fish in all of Magic that aren't blue. We got a quagmire lamprey. We have a zombie fish. Now this is an exception. Anytime there's a zombie something, they always have the permission to be mono black. because they're a zombie, blackhead zombies. So it's like could be goblins are normally red. Well, actually they've been in black too. A bad example, but elves I get. Oh, they're also in black too. Okay, disregard. Yeah. And then let's see. There's a colorless fish because it's artifact, and then there's 2 fish that are not serious, or they're blue in some form. Okay, yeah. But this could be like the quagmire lamprey. It could be a non-blue fish. Or it could just turn completely blue. Let's do that. Let's see. Bink. It's completely blue. Oh, not multicolor. Get out of there. There you go. All right. Let's see. What can we do when we secretly choose? Oh, let's keep looking through some past cards that have to do with guessing. We have Gollum, who says, look at the top 2 cards of your library. Okay, so guessing off the top of your library, guessing from the, we got bottom of library, so any cards in library. We've got, ooh, the Master of Predicaments is a Sphinx. Choose a card in your hand. They guess whether it's greater than 4. Okay. Now, guessing usually ends up being a blue thing, but we see Gollum having, and also the Toymaker's Trap has black for guessing. All right, that's fine. So we're going to think of something that's novel for Inklings are aligned with Silverquill, who are about words, choosing a number. Ah, thank you for that. Yes. Choose a word. Okay, let's see here. Now, we want to be careful about choosing some words here. I do want to choose a word of some sort. Let's see. Choose a, let's see. A creature type? We could choose creature types. Because what we want to do is we want to make the card be able to work in different languages than just English. Some aspects of a card are just bound to be whatever you pick it. So if you choose something like the creature type, say elf on a card in your hand or something, that elf is tied to all the translations of elf in Magic. So even if whatever the elf word is in other languages, you mean that one, so they can guess. They can say elf in another language. But with card names, you can't really. If you try to choose a word in a card name, it doesn't really break down that way. Yeah, that would not be a black bordered thing, or otherwise a serious card thing. So we can't do that. But I do want to go and choose a quality, some kind of word quality. Let's see. Don't want to count cards in. We can care about maybe card type. Let's see. We got card types we can care about, creature types. We don't want to care about power toughness. That's numbers. We don't want to care about number of cards in library. Well, everyone knows what the number of cards in library is. Yeah, we could go sort of do that. Let's see. So you can do whatever frequency, like when card name enters the battlefield. It could just be like upon dealing damage, whenever you cast a spell, like Magecraft, that's a thing. It's like this. Let's see. We can bring back Magecraft, but I thought it might be driving too much. It's like whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell. And then you do some kind of guess with that. Although it's weird to have a spell in the stack and then play a guessing game. It'd be nice to do it before you cast it. The card name enters the battlefield. Choose instant or sorcery. Those are words. Or let's see. Yeah, if we say choose a card type, and then let's see, we could do that. Then your opponent guesses whether you have that card type among cards in your hand. That could be a way to do it. Gotta go eat breakfast. Hey from the UK, everyone. Hey, I hope you do a blog post with the designs. Love to see how they turn out. Thanks so much for stopping by, Calgon. Definitely at the end of the month, I think it would be great to go and create a blog post to my blog of all the 31 designs at the end. All right. Thanks for your help. Let's do it. When it enters battlefield, choose a card type. Then, I think I would say then,